You've been lied to about weight loss. Every diet, every fitness guru, every expert has convinced you that the problem is you, not disciplined enough, not motivated enough, not strong enough to resist temptation. But what if I told you there's a country where people eat more carbs than Americans, rarely step foot in gyms, and yet have obesity rates 12 times lower than the US? Japan's secret isn't what you think, and the surprising technique I'll reveal at the end will completely change how you see food forever. Let me ask you something that might make you uncomfortable. How many times have you blamed yourself for weight gain? How many times have you thought, if only I had more willpower? Here's what the diet industry doesn't want you to know. Your willpower isn't broken. Your environment is rigged against you. The hidden psychology of food environment. Walk into any American store and notice something disturbing. The first thing you see is processed, sugary, addictive foods designed by teams of food scientists to hijack your brain's reward system. These aren't accidents. They're psychological weapons. Now imagine a different world. In Japan, convenience stores place fresh meals at eye level. Healthy options are more visible than junk food. Your brain automatically gravitates toward what it sees first. This isn't willpower. It's environmental psychology working for you instead of against you. But here's where it gets interesting. Japanese food companies spend millions studying how to make healthy foods more appealing, while American companies spend millions making junk food irresistible. Guess which approach wins? The portion size manipulation. Your brain has been programmed to expect massive portions. Restaurant plates in America are 23% larger than they were in the 1980s. Your subconscious mind now associates smaller portions with deprivation and hunger. Japanese culture uses a psychological trick that's so simple it seems almost too easy. They serve meals on smaller plates and bowls. Your brain judges fullness based on how full your plate looks, not the actual amount of food. When you see a full small plate versus a half-empty large plate with the same food amount, the small plate triggers satisfaction, while the large plate triggers the desire for more. This isn't about eating less. This is about rewiring your brain's fullness signals to work naturally instead of fighting them constantly. The sugar addiction reset. Here's something that will shock you. The average American consumes enough sugar daily to literally rewire their brain's pleasure centers. Sugar triggers the same neural pathways as cocaine. Your taste buds aren't just used to sweetness, they're chemically dependent on it. Japanese people consume 1/3 the added sugar of Americans, but this isn't because they restrict themselves. Their food environment simply doesn't push sugar at every opportunity. When you reduce sugar intake for just 14 days, something remarkable happens. Natural foods start tasting incredibly sweet and satisfying again. Your brain essentially detoxes from sugar addiction without you feeling deprived, because healthier foods begin triggering the same pleasure responses that previously required processed sweets. The movement psychology shift. American culture treats exercise as punishment for eating. Go to the gym to burn off last night's dinner. Exercise becomes associated with guilt, effort, and suffering. Japanese culture embeds movement into daily life so seamlessly that it doesn't register as exercise. Walking to train stations, cycling to work, taking stairs because they're faster than waiting for elevators. Movement becomes associated with convenience and efficiency, not punishment. Your brain stops resisting physical activity when it's reframed from extra work I have to do to the easiest way to get where I'm going, the mindfulness manipulation. Here's where psychology gets really interesting. Japanese eating culture naturally incorporates mindfulness techniques that prevent overeating, but most people don't realize these are psychological strategies. Eating with chopsticks forces you to take smaller bites and eat slower. This isn't tradition, it's behavioral psychology. Your brain needs 20 minutes to register fullness. Fast eating bypasses this natural satiety signal, causing overeating before your brain realizes you're satisfied. The act of focusing on food texture, flavor, and appearance during meals triggers what psychologists call mindful consumption. You feel more satisfied with less food because you're actually paying attention to the eating experience. The social pressure system. Japanese culture creates positive social pressure around healthy choices. Bringing elaborate bento boxes to work or school becomes a source of pride, not embarrassment. Healthy eating is socially rewarded rather than seen as restriction or sacrifice. American culture often treats healthy choices as antisocial. Eating salad at a pizza party makes you that person. Declining dessert requires explanation and justification. When healthy choices become socially rewarded instead of socially awkward, they stop requiring willpower and start happening automatically. The circadian rhythm hack. Japanese meal timing follows natural circadian rhythms without most people realizing it. Eating at consistent times daily regulates hormones that control hunger, metabolism, and fat storage. Irregular eating patterns confuse these hormonal signals, making your body store more calories as fat and increase hunger signals unpredictably. Regular meal timing isn't about discipline. It's about working with your body's natural biological programming. The surprising secret technique. But here's the technique that changes everything. And it's so simple, you'll think I'm joking. Japanese culture practices something called hara hachi bu, eating until you're 80% full, not 100% full. Here's why this works psychologically. The gap between 80% and 100% fullness is where overeating happens. By stopping at 80%, you allow your natural satiety signals to catch up without the discomfort of being overly full. The technique: before eating, imagine your hunger on a scale of 1 to 10. Eat slowly until you reach about 7 or 8, then stop. Your brain will signal complete satisfaction within 10 to 15 minutes, but you'll have consumed significantly fewer calories without any feeling of restriction or deprivation. The real secret isn't Japanese genetics or superior willpower. It's systematic psychology that makes healthy choices feel natural instead of forced. Every technique I've shared uses your brain's existing patterns to support weight management, rather than fighting against them. Try the 80% fullness technique with your next meal. Notice how satisfied you feel 15 minutes later without the sluggish feeling of being overly full. Your environment and psychology control your weight more than your willpower ever will. Which psychological shift will you implement first? Share your experience in the comments below and subscribe for more valuable videos.